Two, one, boom. And we are live.
Yeah.
We got Harry Mack in the house.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for coming on and doing this, man. I appreciate it.
My pleasure, man. Thanks for reaching out. Happy to be here.
Yeah. So explain to the listeners what you do.
Yeah, so my name is Harry Mack. I'm a rapper. I'm an MC, and I make hip-hop music. And at this point, I'm most known for my freestyling. So for anyone who doesn't know, that's essentially improvised rapping where I'm making the lyrics up off the top of my head.
Which it's quite profound, too, for people that haven't seen it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like visual freestyling. You show up anywhere, and you can just go at it.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
That's the idea. Yeah. Man, appreciate it, bro.
It's crazy. I have never seen anybody do it that way before too. So then when I started really kind of like getting up on like your craft and like who you are, a couple years ago actually, I came across a video of you on, I think it was the OG like Venice Beach Boardwalk thing that like kind of blew up a little bit.
That was the first. That's my hit. That's
that is
my
your
big
hit. Yeah, that's your exactly. That is
Yeah.
your hit, and I think you got so much props and respect from that one particular moment. And
Right.
then I subsequently started researching you more, and I've been following your career on and off since then. And every time you go out, you just like you absolutely crush it. And
Thank you, bro.
I've never seen
Appreciate
anybody
that.
seriously. I've never seen anybody do it the way you do. So maybe explain a little bit like what's the process like? What goes through your mind? Seems like it's racing like 100 miles an hour.
Definitely, it is. It's funny. I mean, when I first started trying to freestyle, I was 12 years old. So I started years ago, almost 20 years ago, when I was just in 6th grade, and we had no idea what we were doing. It was just me and my best friends loved hip hop music. We knew that. We loved watching like 106 in Park, which was a freestyle show, or
Love that show.
Rap City, The Basement.
Oh my God, dude, both of those were awesome.
Hell yeah, bro. Mm-hmm. That was our shit. So we were obsessed. And then my friend Brady, one year, I think it was when we were in 6th grade, for Christmas, he begged his parents for turntables. He wanted to DJ. So he ended up getting 2 turntables and a mixer and started building his little record collection. And we got like a cheap $20 mic from Radio Shack and plugged it in and just started trying to freestyle, just rapping. And we were horrible, straight up. So side note to anyone who's like, how do you have this amazing gift of freestyle? I wasn't born with any miraculous gift. I might have a knack for improv maybe, but I just practiced it, man. We loved doing it, even though we sucked at it. And we all sucked, so it was supportive. But we were just rapping and having fun, and there was no real technique to it. And then around that same time, man, it might have been 7th grade, maybe I was a year or two older. I walked to the local record store where I lived in Portland, where I grew up.
Shout out PDX, Portland.
Yes, sir.
My girlfriend's from there, actually.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a great town, man.
Go Blazers.
That's right. Go Blazers. Dame Dollar, baby.
Yes, sir.
So I walked to the local record store, which was called Music Millennium. It was around the corner from my house. Walked in there, and one of the dudes who worked there was a hip hop head. So it was cool. He would select like his top 5 picks each week and sort of put them out on the side of the rack, so you could see what he was feeling and what he recommended. And one time, one of his recommendations was for this dude, MC Supernatural, and it was called The Lost Freestyle Files. And I had never heard of Supernatural, but I knew that we loved to freestyle. And I was like, okay, let me check this out. And, for those who don't know, Supernatural is one of the greatest freestylers to ever live. And so this record was basically just a compilation of like live performances, radio appearances, like bootlegs and stuff like that. There were a couple studio tracks on there too, which were dope, but the emphasis was on the freestyles. And when I heard the way he was doing it, I was just like, what the fuck is that? Mm-hmm. I mean, it had such a profound impact on me, like you were saying, because it was like, the reaction was like, this is impossible, but yet he's doing it. Yeah. So what's the trick? How do I, and that really sparked my mind to try to figure it out. But yeah, when you talk about like the process and what I'm thinking about when I'm doing it, it's sort of similar to juggling, I think, although I don't know how to juggle, but
I could see that though.
It's like I throw one idea up in the air, you know, and as I'm catching that idea, I'm throwing the next idea up in the air is the best way I can think to explain it. So I'm always just like half a step ahead of wherever my mouth is. My brain is looking a little bit ahead to what's going to be next.
That sounds insane though too. It's like a circus act.
It is, bro. It is. It's a muscle.
Yeah.
Like being able to freestyle is a muscle that you develop. And I believe that anybody could become maybe not a great freestyler, I don't know, but certainly a competent freestyler if they practiced it.
I find it almost maybe a little similar to like beatboxing. Because like they always say like you could learn to be like a pretty good beatboxer if you have just like even any sort of interest in like beat making or musicality or anything, right?
Right.
If you have that kind of, you know, interest, proclivity to go into that, like I saw this one guy, I forgot his last name, but it's Gene Shin something.
Okay.
And I saw him this summer and he was like this world champion like beatboxer, and it was the craziest thing I had ever seen.
Wow.
He was just breaking down tracks, like, you know, track 1, he'd go into it, whatever, the bass drum, this track 2, snare drum, and you're like, okay, cool, where's it gonna go? Then he double times, and he half times it, then he brings in like bass, like a violin sound with his mouth, and he's got like 7, 8, 9 tracks going.
Wow.
And you got to look him up on.
But this is live, not like with
live.
a looper or anything.
No.
Oh, wow.
100 live.
That's insane, bro.
So, you know, when I see you do your thing and I saw him do his thing, I was like, damn, these two people are just on a different playing field with the way that they're creatively thinking.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Man, well, I appreciate that, bro. I think it's interesting, you know, freestyling is something that not a lot of artists in hip hop have made their priority, right? So the reality is there's just not a lot of cats in hip hop who have practiced freestyling as much as me and the supernaturals of the world and all. There's, you know, there's a list of guys who are known as great freestylers, but it's not a long list.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a niche thing.
As someone who I would say is a champion of freestyler, you've at least mastered the craft. You of course can, you know,
Thank you,
can
bro.
do your thing and you can try to keep getting better, but I would say you're pretty much up there. For someone that's so accomplished in that, like when you listen to like rappers or any hip hop artists, like do you hold that against them if they can't freestyle off the top?
Well, first off, thank you for saying that, by the way. I really appreciate that, man. But no, I don't hold it against cats if they can't freestyle. The reality is a lot of recording artists in hip hop, they don't really need to be able to freestyle. You know, if you're able to write hot verses and make hot songs and, you know, your career is happening because of that, then, you know, I don't think it's a necessity at this point in time, but I do think it's really awesome. Obviously, to me, freestyling is really dope. And I think in the past, it was sort of more expected that an MC would have freestyling as a tool in their toolkit. So I don't want to see that disappear completely. You know, I kind of feel like that's part of my purpose is to be like, hey, this thing still exists too. You know, there are still guys who are coming off the top of the head and trying to keep that sword sharp.
Yeah.
You know?
So take us back a bit to when this specific journey of Harry Mack, you know, kind of, I guess, blowing up started. Like, was it before or maybe a little bit after, like when you were in school at USC, or is it like right afterwards, or how did that whole process start?
Man, so, you know, I had made records like with my homies first one came out when we were in 7th grade, and then through high school we made projects, and this was all in Portland, Oregon, where I'm from. And, you know, we would actually rent venues and produce our own shows and stuff like that. And, you know, we were really doing kind of like the indie band thing, but we were high schoolers. It's easier, you know, when you're in high school.
Yeah, of course. It's like you don't fear anything, and it's like,
exactly.
you know, it doesn't faze you.
Exactly. Exactly. We were just having the times of our lives. Yeah, exactly. So that was dope. And then, I came down here to LA to go to school at USC, and I was a drummer in the jazz studies program there. So I'm a jazz drummer. That's my background kind of. And, but, you know, I was just as much as I was studying jazz drumming at USC, I was studying freestyling, because every night in the dorm for like 2 or 3 hours, we would have sessions and just smoke weed and freestyle.
Yeah, that's the magic combo, right?
Yeah. And just have so much fun, man. And, you know, it was like Malcolm Gladwell talks about getting those 10,000 hours, you know, to master a craft. And like, I was just getting those 10,000 hours without realizing it, because I was having so much fun doing it. But And I had a band in college actually at USC that would do, it was a live band, and then I would rap kind of like the Roots, you know, you could compare it to the Roots, but I would freestyle all of my verses, and we would play house parties and events on campus and stuff like that. And it was dope. And then, you know, I graduated and I was trying to make it as a jazz drummer and just really struggling to piece it together. And I think, you know, I love drumming and I love jazz, but my heart is in freestyling and rapping and making hip hop music. And I was sort of lying to myself a little bit. I think I was sort of caught in that thing of like, well, my degree says I'm a jazz drummer. You know, we spent all this money or took out all these loans, you know, to go to school to be a jazz drummer, which that's a crazy thing to do, by the way.
Take out like a $100,000+ loan to like go be a jazz drummer.
To be a jazz musician. Yeah. That makes no sense. I don't know what we were thinking. But, you know, so I got caught up in that of thinking that, you know, that's what I'm supposed to be doing for work. And, you know, it was a struggle. So I'm dealing with that, you know, trying to find my way, not really, you know, pushing hip hop as a career move, still loving to freestyle, still loving to write rhymes or whatever, make beats, but just not doing it for my career. And then one day, I essentially got tricked into it. The Harry Mack as he exists now, I got tricked into it by a friend. My friend Jacob Mann, shout out to Jacob Mann. He's an incredible jazz pianist and producer and composer. And he was coming out with his jazz big band album. And he was trying to come up with like creative promo for his record. So he was like, hey man, you know, I sampled my big band record and I chopped it up and made a hip hop beat out of it. Would you be down to freestyle over the beat, you know? And I was like, yeah, you know, he was like, I want to do something cool. Like maybe we'll have you drive down Sunset Boulevard or something and we'll have the beat playing and you can just freestyle about the changing scenery. Because the thing with freestyling is you kind of want to prove to the audience that it is really improv.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, so that was our idea. And I was like, favor for a friend, whatever. Got together, you know, we spent probably half an hour together tops. There was one false start and then the actual take, you know, he wasn't filming or something. The camera was messed up. And then we did a second take. And we made the little video and that was it. I think we grabbed a bite to eat afterwards. He Venmo'd me like $50 or something. Yeah. And that was it. And then about a week later, I woke up from a nap and my roommate at the time, Laura, was like, bro, you're going viral right now. And I was like, what are you talking, like, what, am I sick? Like, I didn't even know what that meant. You know, I'm going viral. Like I was, you know, I wasn't an internet person like that at that time. This was December 2017.
Okay.
Yeah. When the first video came out, end of December, like December 20th or something, about a year, almost 3 years ago now, right?
It'd be 2 years.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So the Harry Mack thing hasn't even been going that long.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know what? But maybe it was December 2016. Anyway.
Yeah.
I got to do a fact check now.
Yeah.
That was it. It was December 2016. The one you saw, the Venice one,
2017.
was in 2017.
Yeah, okay.
Boom. There it is. Okay. So anyway, wake up. She says, bro, you're going viral right now. What does that mean? And she pulled up Reddit videos and she was like, your video has been upvoted to #1 on Reddit videos.
That's crazy.
And I also didn't really know what that meant either.
Dude, I admit this. I've been up on like, you know, Twitter, all the other ones, but Reddit is something like I just haven't really got into till like the last year and kind of understand like how that world works. But it's an entirely different thing.
It's crazy, bro. Yeah. And it like people say that Reddit is the internet.
Yeah,
right?
now,
like,
for sure.
Yeah, that's where people are chopping it up and talking about things and deciding what the world likes, you know. And so for a moment in time, I was what the world liked, you know.
It's crazy.
And it was crazy, you know, and it went low key viral, you know. It didn't go crazy, but it got 100,000 views overnight, which was crazy. And it just lit a fire in me, man, to be like, damn, you know, this is what I need to be doing, you know, like this is this thing that I love so much that I've worked so hard at. And I'm not showing it to anybody, you know, and only really my friends and community and people I went to school with even know that I do this. And just to see that there was such an audience for it organically, it was like really inspiring, man. And I was like, you know what, I'm just going to go full force on this. And that's what I've been doing since, man.
Yeah. So when I saw your video, the Venice Beach Boardwalk one, that was just, like I said, it was just a striking, like very just it was crazy. I hadn't seen anything like that before. What was that like? Were you nervous at all, like going up there to like all those strangers? So for people that haven't seen it, like Harry, just you're standing there, you got your boombox, right? You got some beats playing. Are those your beats? Or were they?
No, they're actually not. The first beat is a Dilla beat that he did for the Far Side.
Okay.
And then the second beat is Twista song, Overnight
That's right.
Celebrity.
That's the one where you start going double time.
Kanye
like,
joint.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So what was that like? Because eventually a crowd starts forming, and then you just start picking what people are wearing out, and like But so walk us through that. Man,
so it was crazy, right? So I'd been doing my little freestyle videos since that one that came out in December 2016. I made a goal. I was like, okay, I'm going to start a YouTube channel. I'm going to do a video a week, no matter what. That was sort of the goal I had set for myself. So I've been doing my little videos, some of them would be same style as the original with me driving in a car. I did one where I went into a local liquor store around the corner from my house and rapped about all the merchandise inside the liquor store. Whatever, I was figuring out, how to make my content. And one day I was like, I think we got to try something more bold. Like, let's go out to Venice Beach and try to form some crowds or just try to make some noise out there and see if we can get some cool content. So we spent a whole day out there and we filmed a ton of performances. And we started to learn like what was working and what wasn't working. And, sometimes you approach people, hey, can I do a freestyle for you guys? And they're just like, no.
Yeah, they look at you like you have anthrax or something like all over. Like, the fuck away from me.
Exactly, dude. 100%. And, I understand because there's a lot of people trying to bother you or trick you into buying things or whatever.
Yeah.
So
lots of shady folks out there.
Yeah, man. Venice Beach is wild.
It is crazy. It's crazy. The first time I
insane.
went to Venice Beach, my girlfriend took me there when we started dating. Like because I'm from the East Coast.
Okay.
She's out here, and she took me to Venice Beach for the first time, like before I even moved here, and it was just a crazy experience. I was like, oh shit.
Oh, dude, it's like a circus out there, man. It's crazy. It's fun.
It's so fun. It's so fun.
It's super dope. So we were out there, hit or miss. People telling us to stop filming, don't film in front of my business. It's a lot of rejection, right? Creating the type of content that I'm creating, where you're just out there doing, guerrilla performances, just pop-up street performances. You never know if people are going to want it or not. But that's sort of the excitement of it. And so with the Venice video that you're talking about, the one that went so viral, it was just like the stars aligned. It was really like a perfect storm because we were struggling to get people on board with what we were doing when we would approach them. So at a certain point, we were just like, man, fuck it. Like, put a beat on and just start rapping and see what happens. And so I just put the beat on and started rapping, and I was trying to sort of catch people as they were walking by, right? It's like, if I can get a line off about your hoodie saying only NY, but there's time for you to hear it, there's time for me to see it, make a rhyme about it, and you hear it, maybe I can sort of lure somebody in.
Yeah.
And so that's what I was attempting to do, and it worked really well. And it worked unbelievably well for so many reasons, because like the people that stop and listen are so diverse and different, like it's almost like it looks like we scripted it and we got extras and intentionally brought in interesting different groups of people. It's like
you had a casting agency you hired like an hour or two before. You're like, hey, okay, let's get these type of dudes here. These type of people.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it was like the perfect little pop-up crowd, and it just sort of formed unbelievably well. Like a few, preppy boys on bikes pull up and they're checking it out, because they obviously know everything about hip hop and freestyling, right?
Totally.
And then like, the stoner dude and his girlfriend in a Bob Marley shirt with the pot leaves comes and he's tripping out and checking it out, and bit by bit, it was just like, oh, wow. And before we knew it, there was like a 30-person crowd right there. And what actually happened was I was rapping over the Dilla beat, and it was going good, and I accidentally slipped my finger on the iPod where I was playing the beats from. I forgot to lock the screen, and it just accidentally switched to this Overnight Celebrity beat, the Twista beat, which is mad fast.
It is, yeah.
Well, the beat's actually slow, but Twista raps double time.
That's how he always raps. It's like he's got that crazy flow.
Oh, that's his thing, bro.
Yeah.
That's his whole name, right? He's the tongue twister, bro. Shout out to Twisted. He's phenomenal.
Yeah.
And so that beat came on, and I look up at the camera. My friend Nolan was filming it, and you see me actually look up at the camera and say, oh, shit, because my finger slipped and it was that beat. And somebody in the crowd said, I want to hear you do this one. I guess they knew, that it would be a challenging beat. And so I was like, all right, let's go, and just leaned into it. And that's my favorite part about the story of making that video, because it was such a genuine improv moment. Like, it was truly an accident. And the fact that happened made the video viral. If it didn't go to that fast second half, it wouldn't have, I don't think it would have been nearly as great of a video. So it's kind of amazing. Even looking back at it now, I'm just like, wow, it's unbelievable that all these pieces fell into place to help the video really go.
Yeah. And it's like you got to showcase both sides of, like, you could rap on a beat that's like 90 BPM or something,
right.
And then it's like the double time stuff, and then it's like that person that yelled that out in the crowd, like, I want to see you do this. They obviously knew
right.
what the beat was, who rapped over it.
Yes.
It's like, let's throw up a cup. It's like, to me, it's like, you ever watch American Gladiators back in the day?
Yeah.
You remember that last obstacle they had to do where there was like the people at the top with the bazooka thing, and there's like, you had to go from like point A to point B to point C, point C to point D.
Yes.
It's like when you start rapping in that type of a realm, like in that Twista realm, to me, it's like that last phase of American Gladiators where like everybody's against you, and
exactly.
like, you really have to come with it, know? And so they got to see like the full purview of who you are as an artist. So I agree with you. I definitely think that's part of why that went viral.
100%, bro. Yeah, it's a test, right?
Yeah.
It's a test. Like, if you can freestyle over this beat, you can really freestyle, Yeah.
So what was it like? Because then subsequently you went on to Power 105, right? And
Power 106.
Oh, Power 106.
Yep.
And then it was it the Breakfast Club? Or was
it was the cruise show.
Oh, that's right. The cruise show.
The cruise show.
And then what was that like to rap in front of Kendrick, Lamar, and Joey Badass?
It was nuts, bro. It was crazy. The Joey one happened first. And that, I tell everybody still that's the best day of my life. That was the best day of my life. I think it's true because so much, it was like my career went from here to here in one day. And I was in tears afterwards. Like, literally, I just called my dad. I was like, yo, I just had an amazing day.
Yeah.
Because what happened was I had the Venice video and it was going viral. And so I had never, had anything be viral like that before. I wasn't even like, I had only had a YouTube channel for a few months, and like I said, I wasn't a real like internet savvy type of person at all before this all started. So all these emails are coming in, and
you don't even know what an email is. You're just like, what the fuck is this shit?
Yeah. I'm like, dude, I do not have time to like vet all this, and 99% of it is nothing, but there could be real opportunities in here, and I don't want to miss out on stuff. So that part was overwhelming, but luckily there was this one subject in my email in all caps, which said freestyle on Power 106 radio station. And of course I knew Power 106, from just living in LA, and the CD player is broken in my car. So I only listen to radio on the road. So I listen to Power 106 a lot, and so I wrote back and was like, yes, let's do it. This sounds awesome. And so I went to the station, shout out Edgar Preciado, by the way, who worked at Power 106 at the time and was the one who saw my video and invited me to come on. And so I went on the cruise show with Jay Cruz, and Crystal B was there at the time, and Jeff Garcia. And it was, we did a little feature on me freestyling, and we did basically this long one take a cappella freestyle. So we started in the Power 106 studio, and then, I walked down the hallways and I'm rapping about the, pictures on the wall and stuff like that. And then we go out onto the street, we get in the elevator, go out onto the street. So it was like a 6-minute long, like just one take freestyle of me, walking through different environments.
Yeah.
And it was really dope. And then we came back up to the office, and Jay Cruz was like, yo, I want to introduce you to our program director, E-Man. Went into his office, and he was like, yo, we want to have you open up for our Powerhouse Festival, which Big Sean and Lil Wayne were headlining. So I was like, yes, let's go. So that was my first like festival booking. All of a sudden I went from not even having done that many shows as a solo artist to now being I get to appear on radio, the first time I was on like a really legit hip hop platform like that. So that was a huge accomplishment in my mind. And then I got added to the festival. So I was like, this is the best day. And then I'm leaving and I was like literally 1 foot out the door, like physically one of my feet was out the door.
Yeah.
And the guy, Edgar, goes, yo, Mac, one other thing, man, like, I just realized this, but Joey Badass is coming to do like an interview, do some promo. Like if he's down, would you want to spit for him? Maybe you guys could do some shit together. And I was like, yeah, bro, like hell yeah. I mean, I was like, that sounds, I doubt that will happen, but dude, I'm 100% there for it. And he was like, all right, cool. Well, he's in there right now. And I was like, what? I thought he had been talking like down the road, like next week Joey's coming by or something. I didn't realize he was like, no, like in a matter of minutes we can ask him.
That's crazy.
And so I was like, holy shit. So then I'm sitting in this side room getting all nervous and stuff. And then this guy pops in and is like, Harry, we asked him, he's good to go, like head on in, and they leave me in. So I meet Joey Badass, who I'm, a huge fan of already. And then, yeah, we made a video together where Joey Badass throws out random words for me to freestyle about on the station. And what was really dope, that's my favorite freestyle. That's my favorite video because it's symbolic of that day, and it will always remind me of that sort of epic day for me. But also, it's just so dope that Joey is such an integral part of the performance. And because he's a rapper and he understands sort of how it works, he did such an unbelievably good job of throwing the words out. Like he always had a good word and right on time. It was like every 4 bars, like we get into a rhythm basically. And it's like, we're sort of performing together in a sense.
And he was throwing out some like hard words.
Yeah.
Like it was good, but it was hard. Like it wasn't easy at all.
No, I think he was trying to throw out words that like he had already thought of, not a lot of things rhyme with. Cause like he threw out chemist and there's not like a lot of words that rhyme with chemist.
What'd you say for that one?
So it became the like quintessential line of the video, which was, I just happened to be watching Breaking Bad at the time that I met him. So he threw out chemist and I was like, yo, my lyrics all be tight. I'm the freestyle chemist like Walter White. And I dropped that line and the room exploded. And that became sort of the, the quotable, like in the comments, everyone's like, yo, the Walter White line, the Walter White line.
Crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. You always hope for one of those, but you never know if you're going to get it or not. It always has to be sort of, a little bit of luck involved for those big lines like that. Cause like if I hadn't been watching Breaking Bad, I wouldn't have thought of that, No,
of course not.
It just fell into place that he happened to reference something where I was like, oh, I got something good for this,
And compare that one to the Kendrick Lamar one. Like what were the differences between those two environments and what was he like as like a collaborator?
Yeah, man. So the Kendrick thing was amazing. So what had happened was we did the Joey video and the video went really crazy on as far as views and everything. It got like 2 million views pretty quickly. And so that was a big video for the cruise show, for their like branding and marketing and stuff like that. And, so I didn't realize, cause I was just so appreciative to have been brought in and given that opportunity. Like I was so thankful, but I didn't realize that they were also really grateful that I came on and played a role in creating that piece of viral content, which is incredible, and they're really incredible people over there. And so what happened was I had mentioned to them that Kendrick is my favorite, of like the contemporary guys who are rapping now. And so they remembered that, which is awesome. And so when Kendrick came on the station, they thought of me and called me and it was nuts, bro. It was like that same morning I found out, I was going to go on Power 106 to do a different thing, an interview. We were promoting like this festival that I was going to be a part of with Casey Veggies, whatever. So we were going to go on and do some promo for it. At like 5 a.m., I had gotten a text that the interview was canceled. We're not going on the station. So I was like, oh, that sucks. So, all right, well, I'll sleep in, And then minutes later, I get a call from Edgar at the station, and he was like, yo, man, you were supposed to come in today, right? I was like, yeah, I heard it got canceled. Like, all good. He was like, yeah, bro, it got canceled because somebody else is coming in today, bro, Kendrick. And I was like,
Oh,
whoa.
shit.
So I think Kendrick can just decide when he wants to do promo and just
of course.
press a button and show up, you know?
Totally.
So I was like, I thought he was just telling me. I was like, oh, dope, bro. I'll be sure to tune in, you know, can't wait to hear it. And he was like, no, bro, like, real talk, do you want to come in and try to do the same thing we did with Joey, but with Kendrick this time? And I was just like, I literally had to take the phone down from my head, because I mean, I'm just a huge Kendrick Lamar fan, like on another level. He's one of my favorite MCs.
Yeah, he's amazing.
He's so incredible, man. So I was like, damn, I can't do that. Like, my first thought was like, no. And then of course there's only one answer, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, bro, let me know.
Let's go. Yeah.
Let's go. He's like, come in and, you know, be here within an hour. He's here now. And so just hopped in the shower, got in the car, drove over there, freestyling hella loud in the car with beats blasting, trying to get hype, you know, just like trying to get in that zone. Yeah.
Dude, I can't imagine like that whole experience. It's crazy. Probably just like to have that like looming where you're so excited, but then you're so like maybe intimidated a bit.
I
and
was
it's
so
like,
nervous, bro. Unbelievably nervous. Yeah, like it was crazy. I couldn't believe I was just doing everything I could to put one foot in front of the other to get there, you know, and just like make sure I got through to the other side.
Yeah.
But yeah, right when I got there, I'm like not really talking. I get in the elevator with somebody from this, with Edgar, I think, from the station, and I was like, we're all quiet, like in the elevator, because everyone was kind of nervous, you know, because Kendrick was there. I mean, it's a big presence, you know.
Of course, yeah.
And so I was like, yo, so you guys asked him and like he's cool or like what? And he was like, nah, bro, I think we're just gonna do it. And so I was like instantly like excited on the one hand that, oh wow, this is really gonna happen, right? Because he's not gonna have the opportunity to nix it. But then on the other hand, like that made me extremely nervous, because I'm like, what if he doesn't want it? What if he's not feeling it? What if it's weird? Or, you know, like, who is this guy? Why is he crashing the interview?
Yeah. What if he doesn't like your name, like Harry Mack? I'm not into it. Like,
yeah,
fuck
exactly.
this guy.
exactly.
Yeah.
So, but luckily it went really amazingly, man. And it was a crazy moment. Yeah. I went in there, I was extremely nervous, and I basically blacked out for the performance because I was just so, I guess just so zoned in. I mean, I just like was so focused and just trying to do a great job that it was crazy. I almost felt like I wasn't there for it. It was like a flow state type of thing. So I wasn't like looking at him or seeing his reaction. You know, with Joey was like doing shit like this. You could really tell, even out of the corner of my eye. And I started checking. I was like, okay, he's feeling it. We're having fun. With Kendrick, I couldn't even bring myself to like look. I was just like, don't mess up. You know, try to do good. And then at the end, he ends up saying these incredibly kind things to me. You know, at the end about, you know, how it's a cycle of inspiration, and you know. He mentions that, you know, he's a hero of mine and he inspires me, but likewise seeing me freestyle inspires him, and that it's a cycle and it goes both ways. And when he was saying that to me, I was just like, that's not real. Like, he's not saying this right now. You know, I couldn't even really, I just truly couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it.
Well, that's great that the station and that particular show has been so impactful for you as an artist, and has been so supportive. Like, that's always really cool to see, like when, you know, DIY up and coming artists get put on like that, or at least they get, you know, a little door opening. You know what I'm saying? Because it is hard out there. Oh man, it's so difficult. Yeah, the shout out to the Cruise show, man. They're on 92.3 now, but they played such a major role in my story, and they're still super dope. And when I dropped my debut EP this past January, almost a year ago now, and like, you know, they let me come on the station and do promo for the album and stuff. I mean, they're really family, man. I'm super fortunate to have people like that who want to see me succeed. Yeah. So then you also had this other, these are the three things I wanted to highlight. So then you also went on the Ellen DeGeneres show, which was lit.
Hell yeah.
So what was that like? Because I feel like it just keeps, you know, increasing. It was on the crazy ladder.
Well, you know what, man? Yeah, there was a viral moment, right? And there was just this momentum, man. It was this amazing example of how if you lean in when things are happening for you, you know, you can create this momentum. So yeah, I mean, it was like viral video on the beach, get invited to Power 106, get to rap and meet Joey, get to meet Kendrick, get to go on Ellen, national TV. And and that was really, really exciting, obviously, that whole time. But yeah, man, the Ellen show was crazy. It was cool. It was like, somebody, from like an assistant on the show had discovered my videos and was a fan. And then it's like, they reach out, get a feel, see if I might be good for the show. And then, if they like me, they pitch me to their boss, interview with their boss, excuse me. And then from there, it just keeps getting pitched up the ladder. And then the crazy thing is at the highest level, Ellen actually called me. Which was crazy. I got a text from the person I've been talking to at the show, and they were like, if your phone rings in the next half hour, you have to answer it, which was crazy because I was actually at the doctor, like for a checkup. And I was like, all right. Like,
you're like, Doc, hold up. It's fucking Ellen.
Exactly, bro. Straight up.
Hold.
No, straight up. He was like finishing his spiel. He was like, all right, you're mostly healthy. You really should probably exercise more and just think about not eating so much, whatever. Yeah. He was like doing his closing remarks. And I was like, and my phone started buzzing, and I was like, yeah, all right. And he was like, yeah, go ahead, take the call. Yeah. And she said, Harry, this is Ellen DeGeneres. I'm so excited to have you on the show. And we went on there and did my thing. It was they had everybody who came to the show that day wrote a random word really big on a piece of cardboard, and then she shuffled up the deck and had some random words from the audience and sort of flipped through them, and I did a freestyle based on those words. Yeah it's crazy.
So talk about the Wordplay Wednesday thing, because that's kind of a interesting thing that you do as well, because I mean, for what I could tell, you literally sit there for 2+ hours. Yeah. And you just go off the dome with like, I mean, who the fuck else is going to sit there for 2 hours and freestyle? Like,
hell yeah, bro.
So talk about that and just like why that's been so fun for you to do, and like why you keep doing it.
Man, it's been awesome. I used to do this thing, a while back, like maybe 1.5, 2 years ago, sort of during like when the Venice Beach video started going off and stuff like that. I would go on Facebook Live, and we would do like a Freestyle Friday thing, and did that for some time, and then took a break from it. And then, I'd say a couple months ago now, I started it back up again on YouTube. And YouTube has a really great platform for going live and doing streaming, because it's monetized and fans can actually donate like during your stream, which is really interesting.
That's crazy. I didn't know that you can do that.
Dude, it's nuts, man.
Damn.
Yeah, like the first time I did it, I went live.
That's
and like,
where it's at.
At one point, it was just like, bloop, $5 like appears in the chat. And I'm like, whoa, it's like, John, whatever.
Did you know about this? No?
Yo,
fuck.
It's dope, man. Yo, definitely get up on it. Like,
damn, we got to start fucking hitting the live button on YouTube for something like this.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like crowdfunding once a week, It's basically, it's virtual busking, right? Like busking on the street, setting up with your guitar case open and playing. It's doing that, but through the internet, and there's people watching in China, giving you money, and there's people. So that part of it, the fact that it's monetized like that is really great for me, like as an independent artist. But also it's just a really awesome opportunity for me to like interact directly with the fans. And basically what I'm doing is people are typing in random words or comments in the live chat, and then I'm just incorporating those into my freestyle. So it's like a continuous feedback loop from them into my brain, and then
how quickly does time go by when that happens?
Mad quick. Yeah. Mad quick.
It's 2 hours is like that.
Hell yeah. I look up and it's been half an hour, and I feel like we're just getting started, It's very exciting, and it's a, even just doing that in the comfort of my home studio through a webcam, it gets the adrenaline going when you look and see, holy shit, there's 300 people watching this right now. That's a big show, man. If I played a 300-person room in LA and it was sold out, I'd be nervous to hop on that stage.
That's a good stage right there. Yeah, that's 100%. A good crowd.
Yeah.
Even as a DJ, if I play for 300 people, that's like that's a good turnout.
Hell yeah, bro. Yeah. So it's an incredible thing, man. I mean, the fact that like, and I'm streaming through my computer with like, sound and stuff. But you don't have to, but you can just, it's amazing that our phones are just a window into the world, and you from anywhere in the world you can just go live and people can see exactly what you're doing as you're doing it. So it's incredible. And I think, we were talking about this a little bit earlier before we started, that, a lot of brands don't know how to utilize live streaming. They want to utilize it because all the platforms are pushing live content really hard. Like if Facebook wants you to go live, YouTube wants you to use the live feature. So when you use it, they push that content, because they're trying to get the live content out there. But a lot of brands are afraid to do it because it's like, well, you know, for most of what we want to do for our purposes, it's just better and safer if it's pre-recorded. What if something goes wrong? You know, what if we say something dumb, you know? But for me, that's, you know, freestyling is all about creating an energy in the moment, and you need an audience. You need a live audience, right? Essentially, you know, I could freestyle by myself in a room, but it's not going to be nearly as interesting as if people are throwing words to me or showing me some kind of visual input, some kind of randomized input, so that you can see that I'm really making it up on the spot. So it's kind of the perfect platform for me.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. So one of the other kind of questions I wanted to ask you is, did you ever used to watch like wrestling when you were a kid at all, or were you up on like WWF or anything like that?
A little bit, but I never really watched it like that. I knew about it, but
so they used to have, I think they still do. I mean, I haven't watched wrestling since I was like 9 or 10 or whatever, but they used to have this event called the Survivor Series where they would have like 4-on-4. So it would be like your favorite, you know, 4 wrestlers, and then certain people would team up, like maybe 2 tag teams or like 1 dude and like, you know, 3 of his buddies or whatever. And it was just always fun to see who would team up with who. So I got this kind of like scenario question for you. If you were to go into that Survivor Series battle, but as a hip hop artist, rapper, freestyler, and you were leading your 4-person team, who would be the other 3? It could be straight freestyler. It could just be rapper that you look up to, you know, whoever. Who would you take as your 3 teammates?
Wow, that's a great question, bro.
To go into battle with somebody else's, you know, 3.
I think all right, so if I get 3 MCs, we're gonna go into battle. Number 1, I would have Black Thought from the Roots. Because he's just a murderous MC, period. And he's dope because he has the freestyle thing, right? So if the battle goes off top, you know, he's right there ready for it. But also on the written side, he's just so vicious. And so he's one of my all-time favorites. So definitely Black Thought. I would also have to have Supernatural on my team because, you know, he's one of the greatest freestylers of all time, one of my personal heroes, and he's in one of the most famous battles in hip-hop that ever happened, which was Supernatural versus MC Juice, which was like a highly anticipated battle between 2 of the best freestylers ever. And most people agree that Supernatural won the battle. So if I'm going to go into battle, I want to go in with the guy who won the most notorious battle in history. All right, so we got Black Thought, Supernatural. Damn, that's already a crazy team. And then
who's the final selection?
Yeah, who is the final selection? What are we missing? We need somebody with like a lot of style and swag, you know, to represent that side of it, you know, because we got all the heavy spitters. So maybe Andre 3000 from Outkast.
That's a wild one. That's a wild card right there. I forgot about him.
He's one of my favorites, man. He's one of my favorites. Like, he's so creative. His voice is so dope.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And he at certain times he kind of reminded me of that like Twista style a bit too, like the way he raps.
Yeah, he's got some fast stuff like that going on for sure.
That's a formidable team right there, man.
Yeah, right?
You guys might advance in the Survivor Series tournament for sure.
Come on, bro. I think let's tag them in this video, man. I want to see if we can make this team a reality.
That would be crazy. Damn, that would be wild. That's a good. I like that 4.
Yeah, I mean, but I could come up. We could sit here and talk about this for days, bro. When it comes to these lists, or the.
So my 1A question to that is: so we got your Survivor Series team. So if you had to go at another artist in a battle, freestyle battle, like, who would be the one person that's not on your team? So you can't say anybody that you've already selected.
Yeah.
Who would you want to challenge?
Oh, wow. Man, it's hard to say because I'm really not a battler, to be honest with you. Like I love this theoretical discussion, but like I never been a heavy battle dude. I've been in 2 battles, one in middle school. I was in 7th grade and I lost to a 6th grader. Shout out Ben Johnson. We're friends. Ben
Johnson, what's good?
We became friends after that. It's all good. And then I feel
like you have to be.
You have to. Yeah, you got. That's how we grow. And then I was in another battle in college one time because some guy was being really annoying and calling me out and stuff, and he couldn't freestyle it. He pushed me into it, you know.
Yeah.
But man, as far as like who I would want to go up against, let me think.
Or maybe one of your heroes or something like that.
Yeah, like I would want to go up against Nas because I would just want to have the opportunity to go bar for bar with him and just.
He's my personal favorite.
Me
like,
too.
If someone told me like, and I'm also a homer, like I'm from Queens, born and raised. Like, he is my like goat.
Oh, me too.
So like I would if I had one person to select forever, it'd just be Nas.
Hell yeah, bro. Yeah. He's number one on my list too. I always say he's my favorite MC. Yeah, I mean, like Illmatic, that record changed my whole thing, bro. That changed my life. I remember like, cause I was in 6th grade again, and I was hanging out with this dude Brady, who had the turntables. And one day I remember him handing me the CDR in the jewel case with the Sharpie Nas Illmatic. I remember exactly what it looked like, the way he wrote it on there. And I popped it in the red Discman when I got home and laid in my backyard. It was like randomly a sunny day in Portland, which is rare. And I remember laying in the backyard and listening to it, and just like, by the time, I remember when the beat for NY State of Mind came on, and I was just like, damn, this is some other shit already. And when he started rhyming, rappers, I monkey flip 'em with the funky rhythm, I be kicking, musician, inflicted composition, a pain, I'm like Scarface, sniffing cocaine, holding the M16. Like all of the imagery, I was like, dude, this is insane, man. Yeah. And I love all his work. Everybody loves Illmatic. But for some people, that's kind of like the beginning and end of Nas, you know. It seems like, where, you know, everyone's always going back to Illmatic. And yeah, it's one of the best hip hop records ever made for sure. But
then like, so you got Nas's Like that came out, you know, years after that, which is arguably not only one of the greatest beats of all time by Premier,
bro.
But just the verses are like out of this world.
Insane, dude.
I feel like he always had, you know, myriad of these amazing moments, like, oh man, regardless of the album.
Yeah, and like, there's maybe some lulls, like as far as taking the album as a whole, but in my opinion, like a lot of that had more to do with like the art direction, like maybe the beat selection was off, or like something about it was weird, it didn't gel necessarily. But I always think that his writing is phenomenal on every record. Like, I never have heard him and be like, Nas didn't really bring it on this. I think for me, the records that aren't quite as dope, it has less to do with his actual contribution and more to do with everything surrounding it.
Yeah. So as far as hip hop instrumentals, what are your like top 3 or top 2 or 3 ones that you like, if you had to only, you know, freestyle rap over them, which one would you select? Yo,
the best freestyle beat is the Milkbone instrumental. I don't even know the name of the song. I know it as the Jay-Z Big L freestyle instrumental. Okay. But it's actually...
Big L's another one, man. Dude, his freestyles are crazy.
I would need him on the team. If it was Dead or Alive, I'd definitely... Yeah. He's probably the most vicious guy you could have on a battle squad, right? For those punchlines, bro. But yeah, there's have you heard the Big L Jay-Z freestyle session?
I have, yeah.
That track is insane for freestyles. Yeah. That's my favorite. Because it's got that like, it's like a jazz piano sample, you know, I don't know what the sample is, but it sounds like it's like a jazz piano trio or something like that. And that's some of my favorite stuff, like chopping up jazz samples for hip hop production. That's some of my favorite source material. And so it's great. And it has an emotion, like it has a certain depth and emotion to it. So if you want to get into some real shit, you can. But it also just has that boom bap bounce where if you just want to be funky and flow and freestyle about whatever, that will sound great too. So it's just kind of wide open unless you go any which way with it. So definitely that would be like, if I could only freestyle on one beat for the rest of my life, it'd be that one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And then Burn by Mobb Deep is another great one.
Anything that Havoc produced was like out of this world.
So sick, bro.
You've heard Hell on Earth? That's another really good one.
Yeah,
I love
bro.
that one.
So dope. Yeah. All those beats are so great.
They're so grimy too. It's like that era and just the way that they were producing is just like, you know, I wish we still had stuff like that, you know?
Me too, man. Yeah, it's like the definition of the boom bap sound. And Burn is actually the beat that Black Thought used for his epic Funk Flex 15-minute freestyle or whatever. The freestyle heard around the world.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I think I watched that about like a couple of years ago. It just came up on the YouTube, you know, feed and stuff, like next video. And I'm like, oh shit. Yeah, dude, that one's crazy.
Oh, it's nuts.
I really like the, I know it's, you know, very common. It got commercialized when it was in the 8 Mile movie, but the Shook Ones beat, I think, is still like, you know, that one, I remember when the first time I heard that one, I was like, it just like gets you real, you know, hyped on everything.
100%.
You know, you want to just like start fighting everybody for no reason. You know,
yo, it's so true, man.
Yeah.
And so many of those classic boom bap instrumentals have that vibe.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
the
totally.
grittiness of it. It's like, yes, man, it's this dark, but like, you know, you're fired up type of energy.
So you seem like that you were really into a lot of the like the East Coast flavor.
Definitely.
Beats, vibes. Like, were you ever a fan of because you're born and raised on the West Coast, were you a fan of the West Coast style of hip hop?
Hell yeah. I like, you know, we always bumped 2001, like in high school, you know, obviously. And yeah, like we fucked with Snoop Dogg heavy and Exhibit and Ice Cube and all that shit. Like, I definitely loved that music. But when I started getting really into MCing, I just was really drawn to like the styles that the East Coast rappers were using, and like the sort of like dense, lyrical, multisyllabic, different patterns and cadences and things they were doing. Just like from a technical standpoint, I was really intrigued by it. And it just seemed so advanced, you know? And I think, not to say that there aren't West Coast rappers who are highly advanced on a lyrical tip, because there absolutely are. But a lot of it was more about the overall vibe and the funk of it, you know, and the feeling of it. So just as a lyricist, I think I was drawn to the East Coast cats for that reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many good ones. I mean,
yeah, bro.
Yeah, like Tribe Called Quest for me was also one of those groups that I think just like changed everything.
That's my favorite group.
Yeah.
Like whenever someone asks what's the favorite group, and that's a really hard question, right? Because you got Wu-Tang and you got like, you know, you got Outkast. There's so many dope groups. You have Mobb Deep. But to me, I just know right away, Tribe Called Quest.
Yeah.
They're so dope.
If I wasn't from Queens, I would. So Mobb Deep's my favorite group.
Hell yeah.
So it's like I feel like I have to just like pick them on like all forms, no matter what.
Yeah.
But there's so many other really good ones for sure.
Yeah, man. Tribe is amazing because, and like the production, bro, like the beats on like Midnight Marauders are
so good,
so dope,
and they're so smooth too.
Yeah,
dude, it's got that kind of like. Well, first of all, like Q-Tip is just like, he's got that kind of like soulful kind of like vibey, like it's almost like he doesn't even give a shit about the way he's just nonchalant about it.
Right.
It's like da 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 da, and it's just like everything is just so smooth and shit.
Yeah.
And it's just like I just love his style.
Me too, bro. It feels good.
And he's got a good voice too.
Yeah, he does.
That's the thing too. It's like if you are a rapper and you got like a good voice, like you know, I feel like that counts a lot. Like.
Hell yeah, bro. Someone needs to give me Q-Tip's voice, man. I'm stuck with this one.
Yeah.
No, it is, though. It's true. Like, somebody says MCs without a voice should write a book. I can't remember who said that, but I remember hearing that line, and it's true, you know? I mean, that's the whole thing. That's our instrument.
Yeah, for sure. So you're also doing these gorilla, what is it? The gorilla bars. Yeah, which is dope. So I started watching a couple of those recently as well. And,
cool.
And those are like about 15, 20 minutes as well. And you're just kind of doing what you did with the Venice Beach Boardwalk, and you're just kind of like not reinventing the wheel. Why do it? Just keep it going type of thing, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, totally. And they're all fire. Like that one that you did with the... Was it the Bridal Group or something?
Oh yeah.
Like
that was out at Venice Beach too.
Yeah, that one was crazy too.
Yeah, it was like somebody was getting married, and it was the whole bridal party, and like they'd been day drinking, I think.
Oh
and stuff
yeah,
at
you
Venice.
could tell.
Yeah, they were
loved it too. They loved it.
They were such a dope energy, bro. It was awesome. Yeah. No, man, thank you for checking that out, bro. I appreciate you watching the videos. It's been a lot of fun. Yeah, it's just, I basically just gave a name to the type of content that I was always known for creating on YouTube, which was, you know, the live public space freestyle content, essentially. And I wanted to call it Gorilla Bars to sort of align it with, you know, like guerrilla theater type performances, or like the magic like that David Blaine would do, street magic. I don't know if you ever saw like his street magic show.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, like I didn't realize it, but what's crazy is he's actually credited with being one of the inventors of this particular approach of filming content that we use, that we discovered it as well, without realizing that David Blaine was the one who came up with it. And what it is basically, he said, don't film me. Don't focus on me. Focus on the people's reactions to me. That's what will sell this as real. And that's what will make people love it. And so we realized that early on when we were filming at Venice, and actually not when we were filming, but when we were watching content back, I was like, bro, catch all the reactions. That's what sells the content. And even now, it's crazy to see if the freestyle is technically not as good, but the reactions are amazing. People are loving it and people are freaking out at certain moments. The video does way better. And people will be like, this one went really crazy. And then sometimes it's like, in my opinion, it's really sick. Like it's high level improv. And I know I'm crushing it just like from a technical standpoint, but the people look bored or they don't know they're allowed to react or they don't know how to react, you know? And so it's awkward and it just ruins it. It's like, damn, we can't even put this out. Like,
you can also just make like a blooper reel and call it like awkward Mack, and it's like, you know, it's some like side thing, and it's just like, hey guys, listen, this is the blooper shit, check it out. I bet you that shit would go viral too.
Dude, I think that it would be hilarious because it is very funny.
If they sign off and they're like, yo, that sounds cool, like let's, you know, whatever, like why not?
Yeah, dude, no, I'm gonna do that. My girl suggested the same thing. She's like, it'd be funny to show everybody these moments where it's like a really dope freestyle, you know, and the guy's so passionately rapping, but the people are just like, what is going on? Yeah, it's mad funny, man. But yeah, it's a lot of fun, man. What's cool about it too is it actually gets me out there in LA experiencing the local culture because, you know, I've been to all these events and places around town now. And, you know, it brings me out to the real world. It gets me out of the studio and out in the world.
Would you want to do a freestyle of some sort? I don't know.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm not going to, I just have some beats that I have here, but cool. What I'll do is for the video, I'll just like overdub it with the track underneath, and I'll bring it up. Perfect. But for you, it'll just probably play in the headphones.
Sick.
And then I'll hear it too.
Cool.
If you want to do something.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, I just have that way I can use this beat on YouTube and I won't get taken down or anything.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
Works.
This is dope. You produced this?
Yeah.
Sounds good, bro.
Cool.
Can you turn my phones up a little bit?
Yeah, totally. Can you hear that?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Cool.
Yo, Mack off the top of the mind. Improvising lyrics while I'm rocking my rhymes. Never ever slacking cause the Mack brought the godly flow. Plugged in through the interface from Universal Audio. Yeah, I'm about to take them to the new day. My flow is high quality like the gear from UA. Yeah, it's Harry Mack, I'm really scorching. I named Dr. Trice, trying to get you the endorsement. Yo, Harry Mack, man, my lyrics always been fly. Representing Cali while he's wearing only NY. Yeah, the way I do these lyrical reports, they say we heard dope lyricism, but only in New York. Well, now we on the West, we about to manifest. I'm putting every rapper in the room right to the test. Yeah, I'm about to kill him when I'm all up in the cypher. Hold that water bottle up, cause I earn stripes like a tiger. Yeah, the other one, yo, the one up to the right, the one that's whiter. It's Harry Mack, you know I be the flow provider. Yeah, check it, I spit from the soul. I ask people to do things, that's called crowd control. Come on, it's Harry Mack, I'm all up on it with the rhyme and flow. And when I'm spitting off the top, I'm all kinds of dope. Yeah, I told you I'ma leave you rappers hollow, cause I be blasting off kinda like the Apollo. Yeah, I'm about to grab the mic and leave you cats shook. Like this laptop, every book I read is the Mack book. Yeah, and they can't even follow where I go. And I'm sorta like this laptop, cause Mack be a pro. Come on, follow along, I drop crazy phlegm, amazing them, recording to the Ableton. Yeah, we going in, we got the mics for the podcast. Harry Mack getting off with his odd ass, flipping different when I be flipping rhymes like these. When it be coming to spitting, yo, I got all kind of steez. We in the studio right now, you know I'm never soft. Most you rappers is like this monitor because you off. Yeah, I told you I'd be staying on forever. Coming off the top of the mind with the rhymes is clever. Yeah, and when it comes to lyrics, son, I got plenty. I see the future like the year 2020 with 2020. Vision, I make them listen. I'm on the mission correctly. Rappers talking noise, they never affect me. Hey yo, I'ma do it like this and that. Harry Mack getting gone, peace. I'm ending the rap. Wow. Oh yeah, crazy, man. Thank you, bro.
Dude, that
appreciate
was crazy. Yeah. Thanks for doing that. I didn't know if you wanted to like jump on, but that was, dude,
I'm
that's
always
crazy.
down. I'm always down.
I figured you would be.
Yeah. That's what I love to do.
That's cool, man. I appreciate. What do you have coming up? Like, what do you have? Are you working on anything right now? Or?
Yeah, I'm working on a project right now, so I'm just sort of like in the writing phase of like demoing stuff out and just starting to get the ball rolling on another project. So I'm going to drop some music in 2020. But it's still in the early stages, so, I don't have a date or a name or anything like that. But, yeah, man, I'm in the lab working on new music and just more content for 2020. We're going to keep the Wordplay Wednesday live stream thing going.
Yeah.
And that's on my YouTube channel every Wednesday. That's a weekly thing. Yeah, man, other than that, keep that going, keep the Gorilla Bars thing going, and just keep dropping music, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome. And
Hell
tell
yeah.
people about all your socials,
Yes.
and where they can reach you and find you and stuff.
Yes, sir. So I'm Harry Mack across the board, HarryMack. So at Harry Mack on Instagram and Twitter, Facebook.com/Harry Mack, YouTube/Harry Mack, all across the board. And my website is HarryMackOfficial.com.
Yes, sir. Everyone go check out Harry Mack. I appreciate you coming on, man.
Come on, bro.
Like I said, I'll reiterate this and I underscore this. I say this, but I mean it. Like, when I first heard your shit, I was like, dude, this guy is on another level.
Thank you,
I've been
bro.
following your career, and I'm glad that we were able to make this work out. And I appreciate you coming on, man.
Hell yeah. Likewise, bro. Thank you so much for having me, man.
Yeah,
This has been
definitely,
great, bro.
man. Keep up the great work.
You too, dog.
So, thanks again for tuning in. I'm Chris Manick, aka Manick, and you've been listening to Welcome to My Crate XL, the podcast. You can follow Welcome to My Crate XL on both Instagram and Facebook. If you haven't already, go to Apple Podcasts and subscribe, rate, and review this podcast. Look out for new episodes soon. Much love. Peace.